So, oh, here we go.
It
We're
says,
live.
hello.
You jumped on right away. Oh, we missed out on the cool production video I did. You've never seen it, have you?
I haven't. I need to go back and watch some of your other lives.
Yeah, you'll have to.
I'll do it.
Well, at least we're live, so, and I don't think no one is on yet, so they didn't miss that little, oh, we're live right away. So, hold on, I got to put the banners up. Welcome to the Sean Campbell Show, live and somewhat rehearsed, and we just kind of jumped right into it. Normally I have a little video production, all the lightning and the cool music, and a little big intro, has the countdown and everything, and it just jumped right into it. So we are. That's what makes Heather and I unbelievable social media marketers. Is that we're on our toes all the time. So.
Tear it off. Let's go.
So Heather, you are actually my very first guest. This is my 5th episode. So whatever's going to go wrong is going to go wrong. It's already started. And you got some chicken in your teeth, by the way. So Heather and I talked right before, and she, I could have told she could have ate her dinner, but it's fine. So I thank you for coming on. And I know you've been very, very busy today. You spend much of your day online and in a mastermind, you're saying. And what else did you do today?
I did Startup Tucson's Action Advising today. So I'm one of their mentors.
Wow.
4 people joined my session. And they were back to back.
Oh, that's cool. So as a mentor for Startup Tucson, what are your responsibilities?
This was my first one. I'm so excited to join their little program. I don't know how big it is. It might be huge. I don't know. But basically, I set the topic and they put it out to their community and people can sign up for it. So my topic today was is Pinterest marketing right for your business? And each person has 30 minutes to come ask questions. I can guide them and give them advice.
Wow.
And then they're off.
Wow. Then they're off. I mean, is it complimentary advice?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think they do.
Wow. Wow. That's good. But nonetheless, you're getting your name out there and establishing some good connections.
Right? I love teaching, so I'm all about it.
I'm good at faking that I love teaching people. Sometimes it frustrates me because, like the first 4 episodes, I'm trying to provide a ton of information and value. And there's actually been a lot of people that have taken some of the advice. There's been some new Facebook Live shows. There's been some new groups popping up. So it's good when I see advice taken.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you, Heather, how many realtors, for example, that I've been in front of to do presentations. And none of them do anything different after I spend 3 hours with them.
It's so frustrating. If you come to us and you ask us for advice, you need to take it because we're giving you gold. Like, I know in my case, I give away way too much, way too often. But if you implement even an inkling of what you learned from me, you'll see results.
Right. I think you and I, this is what our second conversation you and I have ever had, right? And about 2 minutes into our first conversation, I was like, I'm going to beg her to come on my live show because you gave me so much unbelievable information. I'll never be able to implement it because if I'm going to have a client that needs Pinterest, I'm just going to refer her or him to you, period, right?
Yeah.
But it was just exciting to talk to another social media marketer and just kind of in the lingo, the vernacular that we were able to share ideas and just kind of pick your brain about stuff. I mean, I thank you so much for, coming on the show and, investing your time in this. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Go back to the bedroom. Go back. Well, I fed you.
Who's that? She looks just like you.
She's a twin.
I love it. So, okay. So I actually, like the show says, I've somewhat rehearsed. this was the least prepared episode ever because I'm just going to ask you all the questions.
Let's do it.
So thanks, Paul, for coming on. I'm going to test something here. It does. You can see. I didn't know that. I didn't notice that before. So I'm going to hide Paul. So, real quick, next week I do have Jonathan Van Arnsdale. He's a business coach from Colorado coming on. And October 15th, I have Morgan Lang from Azuli Language Solutions. Her and I did a show yesterday, and she set the bar really high. She was phenomenal. I had people calling me today saying, Sean, you're okay, but Morgan just killed it. So I'm looking forward to having her on the live show in a couple of weeks. Do you know Morgan by chance?
I do, yeah. She's phenomenal. I like her a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how she does what she does.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Unbelievable. Let's see. So, how'd you get specialized specifically in Pinterest, Heather?
It was by accident, really. I've been using the platform since it was born in 2010, when you had to have an invite to even get on. I put a post out on Facebook because I didn't know how to cook. I was newly married. I had a new baby at home, and I was tired of eating Hamburger Helper. So I asked my friends on Facebook, like, what can I do to learn how to cook? That's not like a cookbook, because I didn't have a lot of money. And they told me about Pinterest, and I got on Pinterest, and I just fell in love. And I started using it, and I used it for the first 6 years of its life for everything under the sun. I used it instead of Google for everything I was searching for.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I taught myself how to be a mom, how to be a good wife, how to decorate, how to cook, how to cook. You name it, I learned how to be an adult on there. And then when the time came,
I need to check it out.
When the time came and I was interested in like adding some sort of extra income to our family, because I was in a job that was just miserable, I went to Pinterest. It was like my natural place to go, and I typed in how to make money from home, and this wealth of information came up I had never seen before, because I had never searched for those topics. And I found one of my really good friends' pins on there. She's a really good friend now. I found her pin about starting a blog, and I started a blog, and then I started blogging, and that didn't bring me money fast enough, so I started offering my services for Pinterest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. I don't know. I didn't really know what to think, but that would have been my last guess. That's remarkable. Well, what are some of your favorite recipes that you learned?
I have a board on my original profile with like over 2,000 pins on it, and I have cooked every single thing on there.
Ah, jeez. Yeah.
So I learned how to cook. One of my favorites I still make was the very first thing I ever pinned on Pinterest was crock pot buffalo chicken. You just throw chicken in with the buffalo sauce, and then you shred it up. It's so good.
Oh, I'm not going to ask any more about food. And before we came on, I was telling Heather about my intermittent fasting that I'm doing. So once I eat here in about an hour, I won't be able to eat again until like 10 tomorrow morning.
Oh, man.
I'm not a good person to hang out in the morning, especially around 8 or 9, 10. I'm the last person that you want to hang out with. So in getting to in working with your clients, I know I have specific challenges and some when it comes to not just educating my clients on some of the strategies when it comes to Facebook or Instagram or whatnot, but specifically with Pinterest. I mean, if you come in with a new client that is completely, doesn't know anything about Pinterest, what is the biggest challenges for that client to understand about that platform?
Most of the time, it's understanding that it's not social media, because it's not. It is very much a search engine. So understanding from the get-go that we need to know the journey that your person is taking to even find you.
Okay.
And then we have to plug that into an image strategy and a keyword strategy. So there is so much underneath that iceberg. Like you see it from the top, like you see someone and it looks so successful, but then buried really far down under that water is keywords and images and understanding your buyer journey and the user intent that comes with social media or with a search engine. It's a lot. And reframing that mindset away from this is social media and I have to have this social media platform to know this is a search engine.
So would your images be completely different? You know, could you like utilize some of the imagery for Pinterest? Would it be applicable to Instagram per se, or totally different?
Yeah, some of our clients, we have some e-commerce clients. So one of the clients I'm bringing them on this week. She has an all-natural herbal skincare line. And the images that she posts on Instagram of her products, we just take those and plug them into our Pinterest templates and add text. So you can use the same graphic, you're just changing it a little bit and putting text on top.
Right. Again, I'm just kind of going off just on a whim here. I have a new client that is, I can't give too much away because it's a brand new product, but it's a product specifically for cats. There are a lot of cat lovers on Pinterest.
There's a lot of animal lovers on Pinterest.
Ooh. You and I may have a shared client pretty soon.
Yeah.
I could blow it out of the water before the end of the year and get him introduced to you because he needs an immediate return. So no pressure on my shoulders at all.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. You mentioned kind of like all the keywords and stuff. I mean, when you Google specific things, I notice a lot of Pinterest things come up first when I, search for certain topics. Does that help any on the optimization of your client's website too?
Not so much on the website, but definitely double dipping in Google SEO. A lot of those searches were knocked down by Google a few years ago when they did an algorithm update, and they intentionally kind of went after Pinterest for that because they didn't want their pins in the top of their search, right? They wanted content from people. So more of that is starting to show back up, and you can definitely double dip in some of those keyword results with Google. Wow. It's hard. It's not easy.
Yeah. Hey, we got a few viewers right now. Everybody that does ask Heather or I a question, ask Heather questions on Pinterest. You guys have been asking me a lot of questions lately. We want to bombard Heather with questions while we're live. Everybody that asks a question, we're going to be putting you into a raffle tomorrow morning for a $25 Amazon gift card. So even if you already know everything you think you know about Pinterest, ask Heather a question about Pinterest or anything in general, marketing. Do you have any type of, because when you and I talked before, what blew away me the most wasn't just your knowledge about Pinterest, but your knowledge just about marketing in general. Where did that come from?
Just learning.
Yeah.
I grew up on social media. I joined Facebook when it was still like they just opened it from college students to high school students. And I joined Facebook as soon as that opened. So I've been using social media. I was on MySpace, and then I've done chat rooms and all of that stuff. So just growing up online I feel like has given me an edge when it comes to digital marketing. But
You're
really jumping in.
Yeah. You're someone intuitive when it comes to it, which is, from my experience, is kind of rare. The last thing I want to hear from a client is like, I have my niece or nephew, if they know all about social media, then inevitably 4 months later, like, so Sean, remember me? And yeah, we'll wait for you to call back. So we do have a question from Paul. We'll get to it after Heather and I talk a little more. But put your questions in the comments, or you can text me the number below, and let's get some questions for Heather. So advice for some entrepreneurs when it comes to exploring into another platform such as Pinterest. I mean, I know how I handle it, but how do you hold their hand and kind of walk them through the experience?
Lately it's been like we're going back to the basics. Before, like, as this year has progressed and as I've taken on more coaching type role in my company, more of a leadership role and hiring team members, I'm realizing that I can spew about Pinterest for 24 hours. I can talk and talk and talk and talk. And I'm an Enneagram 3, so I've got big ideas.
That's the second time I heard Enneagram 3.
They're not like
today.
Sometimes you just have to like bring it back down to the basics. So lately, what I've been doing and what I did in the Startup Tucson mentorship today was we start with, do you have a Pinterest account and who is your audience? If I can get a good clarity on those two questions and figuring out if their audience is on Pinterest, then I can guide them through, okay, well, you don't have a Pinterest account, so we have to start there. And then, so you have your Pinterest account created. Now we have to do some keyword research from the get-go to even create your profile. So that's kind of where we start.
Yeah. How much like of that research that maybe your new client thinks she or he knows, but they really don't know about their audience?
Oh, like 100%. Like most people don't understand.
Yeah.
That's why when I bring a new client on, there's a lot of back and forth in email, and I'm trying to streamline that more just to make it easier for them. But that kickoff call that I have with them, I really just start, like I open up their website, I share my screen, and I tell them, okay, tell me about this product. Who buys this? Who is this for? What about this blog post? What is your intent behind this? And just to kind of hear them talk about who their client is. And because if you ask someone who their ideal client is, they're like, I don't know.
Right.
So I just start asking questions as if it's me and, interviewing them about their own content, and they just start talking.
Yeah.
And then I can take that to the platform.
Yeah. I took a client on this week, and the previous company, I'm not bashing the previous company at all, but maybe there's some kind of miscommunication or misclarification on who the target ideal client was, because everything was geared towards a younger audience, but even like their name on Instagram was like a little nickname for the abbreviation of their name. But they have a target audience of people 40 and older, but everything gears towards the copy and the voice and everything is geared towards people 25 and under. So it's amazing how you're kind of bringing that up when people, they think they know their audience, but sometimes they just don't.
And I mean, I'm guilty of this too for years. So I have a really engaged email list, and I get between a 30 to 40% open rate. But I'm learning that most of the people on my list are other VAs who are implementing Pinterest for their clients. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I didn't even know you were there. And then this week, actually, I'm doing a lot of research into e-commerce brands. Like, I have a bunch of e-commerce clients, but I do a lot of white label work, so I don't talk to the client directly.
Right.
So I can't go and ask them, like, what's your pain point when it comes to Pinterest, for your business, because they don't even know I'm doing the work half the time.
Right.
So I'm like reaching out to people in my own network and asking these questions so I can redefine my own ideal client avatar.
Yeah, it's interesting. Give me a fundamental, basic marketing plan that you've utilized. You have a phenomenal website.
Thanks.
You just mentioned you have an email campaign going on. If you were just be a marketing consultant for somebody, what are the top 2 or 3, 4 things that you would stress? What are some of your general marketing principles that you abide by? Let's hear Heather Farris' point of view, because
I love this.
They hear mine. They hear what I stress. I'm always, Let's get somebody fresh and brand new who's phenomenal at what she does, and let's hear from you. I'm your new client. Teach me.
Step 1 is we have to have a blog. Like, we have to. Nobody wants to be a blogger. Like, nobody wants to. But the informational content at the top of that buyer journey is so vital. Even if you're selling a product, most of my e-commerce sellers all have blogs with their products, and they sell 10 times better than anyone that just has a shop. So add a blog component to your website, but don't just add a blog component. Sign up for a tool like Ahrefs and figure out who your competitors are and go stalk them. We want to find out what their keywords are, what are they ranking for, and how can you do it better. So that is step one. And I do my own business, and it like for my Heather Farris site, it's doing great. Yeah. Step two is to do something just like this. I have a weekly Facebook Live show with my friend Rose, who lives in the UK. We're both Pinterest marketers, and we just get on and we talk about Pinterest for an hour. Wow. So create some sort of live show, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, it doesn't matter. Choose a platform and go live once a week about your content. Talk about what you're writing, and because you have people in your audience that are going to be audio or like video type learners and not just want to read. So just repurpose your blog content into video. Talk about your products, show your behind the scenes. So that would be number two. Number three would be to start your email list as soon as you start your website.
That was my biggest mistake when I started.
I didn't do this. Like, I started an email list, but I didn't have any like great opt-in because I didn't like. There's all these other Pinterest marketers. I'm like, I don't know what I could offer that's different. So I just threw things up until I figured out one thing that worked really well, and then I went all in on that one thing, and that's my strategy guide. And that thing gets 10 to 12 opt-ins a day right now. And I'm hoping to grow that. So that would be step number three, start your email list and talk about your email list everywhere. So in your Instagram posts, your Facebook posts, in your Facebook group, if you have one, in your live show, in your stories, like talk about your email list, invite people to join. So that's three. Number four is definitely add Pinterest. If your target market are primarily moms or women, they don't have to be moms, but women. Even men are starting to use Pinterest more and more. 40% of all new signups are men.
Oh, wow.
They're looking for things like DIY projects and like manly things. But that would be step number four. Start a Pinterest account, depending on your audience. So that one could vary. And then the fifth little piggy, gosh, what would that be? I think it would just be to show up. My favorite place to show up is Instagram. So
thank you for saying it. Thank you.
I love Instagram. Facebook eludes me. Aside from the Facebook show every week, Instagram is where I'm at. And I love stories. I love the feed. I interact over there as much as I can. So
yeah. Last week I did the most common mistakes when it comes to social media marketing, and I saved that one for last. I mean, just being active on a platform.
Got to be active.
Yeah, some people just overthink it, or they think too much, or they're worried about what people are going to think about what they post. Got to be active. What are some of the common three biggest mistakes you see by small businesses when it comes to the market?
Haphazard marketing, so not having a strategy at all for anything that they're doing. You need to have a strategy in place for all of your content. You can create one strategy and then figure out how it fits into your marketing channels. But you got to have a strategy behind what you're doing, and you have to be consistent. So if you want to show up on Facebook, then you need to show up on Facebook. You can schedule your content, so you need to work in advance if you don't want to be on there every day. And then, just read your data. What works and what doesn't work. Yeah. Do more of what works and do less of what doesn't work. Don't just do something because you think you need to do it. You need to lean into your numbers.
Right. I'm so glad you're saying this because I think my audience doesn't listen to me on purpose. So now they hear from you, I'm like, see, I told you.
They never listen. Guys, you have to listen to Sean. He knows what he's talking about.
No. They stopped. That's why I had you as my first guest. I'm like, I want to make a difference. And I'm not doing it. I'm bringing Heather on.
I'm sick of it. Guys, listen to Heather.
Shifting gears. What's your favorite book?
Oh gosh. Just in general, my favorite book. Oh man. I read enough.
I threw you a curveball.
I know you did. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I don't really know business-wise because there's so many business books, but I love Harry Potter books, and I'm currently reading the first Harry Potter to my kids.
Oh, cool. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I have a stack of books over here, though, and there was one I read recently. I'm really into mindset right now.
Okay.
I'm like shifting my personal mindset.
Yeah.
So I read one over the summer called Stop Checking Your Likes by Susie Moore. She's a huge influencer, and she watches my Instagram stories.
That's cool. Have you written a book yet, Heather?
I haven't. It's on
your list?
It's on my list.
Do you know Trisha Beck, right?
I don't.
No, Trisha, local entrepreneur that here in Tucson, that she has Beck Leadership, so she teaches leadership skills and management skills. And she wrote a book right when COVID hit in about a couple of months, and it debuted like as a bestseller or something. I forgot what it was on Amazon or what it was. But I see a little sign. I'm looking at it right now. She wrote me a sign that says, "Just write the stupid book," because she's known. I've been wanting to write my own book for a while. I have mine about a third written. I just haven't finished it yet.
You just need to dedicate an hour every day to writing.
Well, that hour, I'm trying to learn Spanish because I'm going to Spain next year.
You should set your priorities, Sean.
Oh, speaking of Spain, where's a place in the world that you want to visit that you haven't visited yet?
New Zealand.
Why?
The mountains and the beaches, and there's a big RV community there. And I don't know if you know this about me. Your audience definitely doesn't know this about me, but we RV'd for a year here in the United States.
Wow.
And we're actually in the process of selling our beautiful girl right now. Not a plug for my RV or anything, but it's for sale.
You should have told me ahead of time. I would have made a banner for it.
It's okay. I would love to go to New Zealand because of the mountains, and the beaches there look phenomenal, and the people seem really cool. So I would really like to go there and rent an RV and just drive around.
Wow, that's cool. What's this? You already given a few surprising facts. The one that you love, Harry Potter. What's another very surprising fact about Heather Farris?
Okay, so I'm from the Midwest, and I grew up in a farming community, and I don't mean like cow farming. I mean like crop farming. So when we were driving around the United States in the RV, my husband would be like, "Okay, what's that crop?" And I would tell him right away, "Okay, what's that crop?" And I would tell him, I know all of the crops. Like I could just tell by driving 60 miles an hour down the road, like zooming past them, what that farmer is growing.
Can you smell it too, or
no? Just
by seeing it.
Just by seeing the plant. Like the most common plants in the Midwest are wheat, soybeans, cotton, corn. Yeah, there's all kinds. Like I can tell you all of these weird.
Like within a second.
Yeah.
Like in a second. Hey, we got a question. Well, let's start with Paul Hopkins' question first.
Okay.
Can you see it on the screen?
Yes. Can I post my MailChimp content? I'm assuming, Paul, you are talking about creating landing pages or email newsletters within MailChimp.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too. He sent me that question earlier this week. That's what I'm assuming as well.
If you create landing pages with MailChimp, you can post them. You create a Pinterest image and then you link to that on Pinterest. So yes, landing pages, yes. If you're talking about repurposing your newsletters, I would repurpose them as blog posts and then create a pin that you then put on Pinterest.
Oh, okay, cool. Here's a question from Sandy.
What other no-nos when it comes to Pinterest? Don't create square images. So no squares, no rectangles, all long images. Don't just create, like, you want to test both pins without text on them and pins with text on them, because depending on your industry and your niche, they may be looking for one or the other or both. Food bloggers, this is really food, fashion, and beauty. Those are 3 niches or 3 verticals on Pinterest that can do one or the other.
Can
and
you?
Cindy, I think, is in beauty. So
yeah.
Test it out, Cindy.
You mentioned the shape of it. Can you do that on Canva?
Yes, and Canva actually has Pinterest templates.
Oh, there you go.
So that's just pre-designed with the size.
Yeah. How often do you use Canva?
Every day. I was literally just using Canva while I was eating dinner.
Yeah, I did a half a show a few weeks ago about Canva, and
I love it.
It's my secret weapon. It's I use a lot of their stock video. I don't know if you've seen that, but
they have music too, and I love the new animations. And they just updated their app. Don't tell anybody, so it doesn't crash.
Don't tell nobody. It's our little marketing
secret.
What are some other apps or programs that you use, whether it's directly Pinterest related or not? For
Pinterest, Tailwind. And that's the automation tool for Pinterest. So you can load your pins in a week in advance and schedule them, and they just go out. Some of my other favorite tools are ClickUp. I love ClickUp. That is my project management tool. I geek out all about it. I even publish some YouTube videos that they're ClickUp/Pinterest, and they do really well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What else? I use Google Drive, like all the Google products, and Vimeo. That's my favorite video tool.
Yeah. You have a YouTube channel? What's your YouTube channel?
I don't know. I can find it for you.
Is it just Heather Farris?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm taking I think you and I talked about this the first time we met. I'm taking a YouTube class.
I totally bought it. Yeah, I'm so stoked. I literally checked my email 3 times this week, thinking that it was this weekend, not next.
Yeah. When they did the Facebook marketing one, it was the same time every day, Monday through Friday. So make sure you double check the schedule for that, because it's a little bit discombobulated throughout the week. Some days they start at 10 in the morning, other days they don't start till the afternoon. So so double check the schedule. Yeah, so I was reorganizing my week next week today when I realized that there was a couple of days with 2 hours, one day with 3 hours, and it's just kind of all different every day.
I need to do that too, and I haven't done that yet, so I definitely need to figure that out.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? We've got a few more viewers here. Paul and Cindy are the only one to ask questions live, and no one sent any questions this week, so I guess everybody's a Pinterest expert. I didn't know that.
It's it's pretty common apparently.
It's pretty common. To me, I did check it out when I first started, because I had a number of clients who were like, well, I want to be on Pinterest. And after 2 minutes, I was like, I can't do this. It's not like you said, it's not really social media, for one. And 2, it's just the tip of the iceberg that you see with all the work that goes, behind it. It's a fascinating platform. But I'm glad that you and I have met. So now I have somebody, an expert that I refer to when it comes to Pinterest.
It's a different beast. I don't personally thrive within the confines of social media, because it's just it's taxing on me. And that's one of the reasons I gave up Facebook this year, because of the pandemic, and now we're going into election season, and I'm like, I'm just done. Like, check me out, because I'm out of here. So I hang out on Instagram. That's why I hang out on Instagram, because there's not as many politics. And Pinterest.
Yeah.
And Imager, which a lot of people don't know about, but I love Imager.
Do you think more people are on Pinterest now because of the pandemic more than ever?
Yeah, especially when the lockdowns happened. Like everything skyrocketed, all of the page views for everybody. just skyrocketed, and Pinterest was one of those platforms.
Yeah. Here's another question by Cindy. You see it?
Yes, Cindy. Is there a popular time that people are on Pinterest? It really just depends on your audience. If your audience is typically moms, then they're probably on throughout the day, because depending on if they have a job or not, they may be at home and looking at Pinterest throughout the day. So the tool Tailwind I mentioned a little bit ago actually can help you determine the best time to post on Pinterest. So it'll actually connect with your Pinterest account and figure out when your people are online. And that's when it'll set your schedule up for that.
Yeah. Here's a follow-up by Mr. Hotman. Do you know Paul?
I don't.
No, he's unbelievable. He does scratchboard art.
Scratchwork art. So he paints and then scratches it off?
No, he has, look at that. That's one of his pieces of work.
No way.
Yeah.
That's incredible, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm no artist. I can barely.
Neither am I. Definitely somebody that, if he doesn't reach out to you after this, then definitely I need to, send an email introduction to the two of you. But here's a follow-up by Mr. Paul Hoffman.
He says, if I post a link here, will it go to the Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That's my contact us page, Paul. I think that's what you're asking for. Do you have an inquiry form? You can just shoot me an email from that page.
Yeah.
You can also browse around my website. I just streamlined it this week and made it so simple.
Yeah. Let me, there's Heather's website right there. So, but yeah, did you see the, do you have an, yeah, okay. So you're in.
I think that's what he was asking.
Yeah. So if not, then, I'm sure he'll be reaching out to me to get hold of you, and he has your website. But yeah, all those unreal work. The first time I saw some of his pieces of art, I was like, no, that's a painting or that's a photograph. And it's like, no, he literally uses these tools to scratch it out, then he fills it in with color. And it only takes several hours to do something like that.
I don't even know how.
Yeah, you definitely have to check out Paul Hotman Artist. I believe it's Paul Hotman Scratchboard Artist on YouTube sometime, and check out some of his videos.
I love YouTube.
And I'm invoicing Paul for all these little endorsements. Any last words, Heather? What are some final pieces of advice, final thoughts? And you have a final question coming up. It's going to be another curveball.
Another curveball. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so final thoughts are just get started. And if you don't know how, because it's confusing, then just go to my website. I literally lay it out for you. I give you so much free content on there. I have a whole blog just geared towards using Pinterest for your business and starting an account. And I actually have a page on there. It's the beginner's guide, and it's a page dedicated just to beginners. So it's all the little pieces a beginner would need to get started on Pinterest. So I just threw that in the comments. So just get started. And if you're wondering how, just go to that guide and look at that content there.
Cool.
I lay it out.
Okay, so 3 people that you've never met before, can't be any friends or family, they all have to be alive, that you could have dinner with tomorrow. Who would they be?
3 people I could have dinner with. They have to be alive. I've never met them before.
Yeah. Because you never know. They may watch this and they're like, yeah.
They might. I'm thinking famous people. Okay. I'm going to say top of the list, and this is going to throw you off big time. Good. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Why Arnold? Why?
Because he's a businessman.
He is
And
very,
he knows
very
marketing.
underrated as an entrepreneur. Very underrated.
He is. He's an entrepreneur first. He came to this country and made something out of nothing. He became the governor of a state. I mean, come on. So
Yeah.
Arnold, and my husband's a big Arnold fan too. So that would be like bonus points with the hubby.
I don't think he knew any English.
No, he didn't.
Told everybody he was going to be a movie star, and he became a movie star. He told everybody he was going to get in politics and did it. Everything he said that he was going to do, people laughed at him. He did.
He's entertaining. Plus, if I had dinner with Arnold, then I could get into his good graces, and I could then have dinner with Chris Pratt, which is his new son-in-law, and like my total celebrity crush. So
there you go.
That's number 2. I love Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec, so I would make him talk as if he's Andy Dwyer the whole night.
Love it. Love it.
The third person, we're going to go with a female. What female do I want to have a conversation with? She's alive. This is tough.
Good. This is the only tough question I gave you this whole time.
I can't talk to you right now. I'm thinking. Mom. Okay, maybe you could help me answer this question. I'm going to let my 9-year-old help me.
Yes.
Just stay. So I have to give him a person that's alive that I want to talk to or have dinner with. And I want it to be a female. So who?
Britney.
Britney Spears? No. Taylor Swift.
Taylor, you're a Swiftie.
I'm a Swiftie. I love
Nice.
Swift. Just because she and I actually are like a couple days apart, our birthdays, like a couple days apart, like
that's cool.
Same year, same month, few days. And I don't know, I just love her vivaciousness.
Hey, Mom.
And a businesswoman.
Can I have your help real quick?
No.
And businesswoman too.
She is a businesswoman.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it would score points with the children who are also Swifties.
Awesome. Your favorite Swift? What's your favorite? Okay, is that your daughter behind you? I want to know her favorite song.
What's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
That's kind of hard.
Oh, it's hard, Sean.
Give me your top 3 then.
Probably Endgame, to be honest.
Endgame, she says. I don't know the names of songs. Let's just look Swift up.
For some reason, her song Red, I'm totally just going way too much on this, but Red.
Red?
Yeah.
Is that her new album?
No. It was like a few albums ago.
Okay,
and
so she
I'm
says,
totally exposing my lack of a man card on my live show now.
she says, I like Wildest Dreams, and she says Reputation. So there's
big reputation.
Go somewhere else.
I need your help, Mom. There's a lady talking on the TV.
Well, we're done. We're done.
Ow! Don't worry. I don't know.
This is my life. I'm so sorry, Sean Campbell's
No, I love this. This is awesome. No one's going to beat my inaugural show with a guest.
So not helpful.
Go away.
Helpful. You literally never
Heather, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Twin.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
Hi, Diane. So nice to see you.
All right. So, do you know Diane Kephart?
I do.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Her
I've
and I
known her.
also met.
All right. So,
thank you so
that's
much
it.
for having me
This
on.
is an awesome show. I loved it. The spontaneity, talking with you there at the end. I really thank you. And please reach out to Heather if you have any other questions. There's her website, and I'm sure they go to your website. They can get a hold of you through their somehow through a contact us page. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
So, and again, if you have any questions for her, if you're not watching this live, please leave those comments below, and I'll forward them to Heather as well. But thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I really
Thanks
do.
for having me on. I'm so happy to be your first guest.
Yeah. So it took me the first 4 weeks. I fell on my, especially the first episode, was horrible. It was horrible.
I'm sure it wasn't horrible.
No, it was. Just watch the first 2 minutes, and that's when all the chaos happened because my internet went down. There's a big monsoon that happened. and I was, people were calling me, "What's going on?" And I was like, it was bad.
The only monsoon we had all year, and I wasn't even here for it.
Yeah, basically, yeah, it was bad. So
Tucson has been very disappointing so far.
Thank you so much for your time. We'll talk soon.
Bye, Sean.
Bye.